Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and take 2 of this glorious attempt. So, you're probably wondering, what happened to take 1? Well, apparently my phone has a feature where you can turn the microphone off for videos, and I did that. So, presumably everything I've recorded for the last, I don't know, several months has been without microphone. So I can't make videos. Thanks, me from the past. So anyway, today I'm going to be teaching you a thing. But for now, I'm going to go get something to help get me. And cut. And cut again. I had an idea, but it didn't work out, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay. The Nazi Party was led by some of the most influential people ever to exist. Not influential in a good way, but they influenced the world, certainly. They did do that. They are so influential, in fact, that they are occasionally used as the baseline for all evil. I mean, sure, that person was absolutely not in the right to burn down your house and shoot your dog. But were they really worse than Heinrich Himmler, who was responsible for overseeing the building and operations of the extermination camps? I don't think so. But this begs the question, why was Heinrich Himmler put in charge of the extermination camps? Why did Adolf Hitler have such extreme ideals? Why did any of them follow Adolf in the first place? Who were the other leaders of the Nazi Party? Why was Adolf Hitler so good at painting? How did any of them know each other? How do you make soap? We'll answer these questions in this video. Except for maybe that last one. I have absolutely no clue how you take animal fats, which are not cleaning, and oils, again, not cleaning, and soap. Clean! How? Anyway, let's get into the video. Now, the 6 leaders of the Nazi Party I will be mispronouncing the names of today are Joseph Goebbels, Heinrich Himmler, Rudolph Hess, Adolf Eichmann, Herman Goring, and of course, Adolf Hitler. These people had extreme ideals, obviously, which led to mass genocide against Jews, putting them in concentration camps where horrible things were done to them, which eventually led to their killing. The Jewish people were slowly desensitized to torture and violence, which got worse and worse until they were eventually led into a shower and removed their shoes, left all of their other clothing on, and they were showered with chlorine gas. So, departing that horrible note, let's cover Heinrich Himmler. Well, who was he? Well, of course, he was born in the year 1900 to 2 parents, as opposed to 3 parents, of course. His father was a teacher, and his mother was a devout Roman Catholic. He was named after his godfather, Prince Heinrich of Bulgaria. Heinrich, the Nazi general, not the prince, excelled at schoolwork, but not physical activity. He kept a journal intermittently from the age of 10 and started showing both anti-Semitic and nationalist ideals at a young age, although these were very common at the time. Although he was anti-Semitic, he still treated the Jews he met in his day-to-day life with respect to their faces when he encountered them. Until later, of course, when he went on to form and oversee the concentration camps, being responsible for millions of deaths of Jews and other groups. He eventually rose to be the chief military officer of the fascist movement and one of Hitler's right-hand men. He eventually died of suicide after taking cyanide pills on May 23rd, 1945. Sorry if I seem a little bit distracted. My cat's walking through. Now, on to Rudolph Hess. Hess was born near Alexandria on April 26, 1894, to a rich family and served in the army during World War I. He was extremely racist, seeing anyone not white as inferior. Rudolph grew up near Alexandria, Egypt, where, let's just say that they're not very, in line with his ideals in Egypt. Anyway, he lived in Alexandria under European rule, unlike most of the other Nazi leaders. Hess also lived in a summer home in Germany during, you guessed it, the summer. I know, so surprising. And Hess had a positive outlook on the European government, also unlike most of the other Nazi rulers. Hess was of the opinion that the Egyptians could never have gotten anything done if it hadn't been for the intervention of the Europeans, and claimed that all nations capable of ruling, which were obviously all white, should join forces to rule the world. Hess was imprisoned due to an incident related to something that I will mispronounce, the Beer Hall Putsch, where he kidnapped several dignitaries and attempted to hold them hostage. At that point, he had become great friends with a man by the name of Adolf Hitler, of course. While he was in prison for the incident, Hitler dictated Mein Kampf to both Hess and one Emil Maurice. Hess was given many positions of power under the Nazi regime and worked directly with Hitler on many projects. He was eventually captured just south of Glasgow and imprisoned after being identified. He was attempting to go into negotiations with European rulers so that they could come to an agreement, because he saw that they could never come to an end that was positive for both of them if they fought each other. And although this was not sanctioned by Hitler, Hess claimed that he would have, Hitler would have agreed with him. And he reportedly committed suicide by hanging himself on August 17th, 1987, although suicide is debatable. See, when a government decides that someone is a threat to them, what's the easiest way out? Anyway, the next leader I will be covering is Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels had many possible paths in his life, but he chose the wrong one. Joseph was born on October 29th, 1897 in Reit, a town in Germany, a few times. Sometimes it was merged with a nearby large town, sometimes it was independent. Currently, it is not a town in Germany, although it was independent from 1933 to 1947, thanks to this guy. So, who was he? Joseph Goebbels started out as just a sick child, battling lung inflammation and a clubfoot for most of his childhood, with the clubfoot continuing his entire life despite his having surgery at a young age. Due to his debilitating deformity, he served as a propagandist for the Nazi Party. In his early life, he wanted to become a writer, which he did for the Nazi Party. He committed suicide, along with his wife and children, using cyanide inside the Führer bunker. Although his children were injected and they took pills. So, take it as you will. And now we're getting into the good stuff. Now, Adolf Eichmann was born on March 19th, 1906 in Prussia as the eldest of 5 children. He moved to Linz, Austria in 1914 following his father at roughly 8 years of age. There his mother died and his father remarried. He also attended secondary school where he played violin, participated in sports, and joined clubs. His father later pulled him out of school for his poor academic performance and transferred him to a vocational college, where he left without obtaining a degree and went directly to working in his father's new business enterprise, a mining company, where he worked for several months. He then left to become a sales clerk for a radio company for 2 years, before he left that job to become the district agent for an oil company for 6 years, before he was fired due to staffing cuts and became a full-blown Nazi military commander. Eichmann was left in charge of getting the Jews out of Nazi territory and later into slums and concentration camps. He was killed by hanging on June 1st, 1962. Okay, I should be speaking much more clearly, unless of course I'm not. Okay, finally, Herman Goring was born on January 12th, 1893, in Rosenheim, Bavaria. I do not sound better. His parents were not present for much of his childhood, instead having to rely on their godfather, who provided him and his siblings with a house and later a castle, while he and his 7 siblings lived on their father's pension before his father returned home. He was sent to a boarding school at age 11, which had extremely harsh conditions. He eventually sold a violin to get home, and faked being sick until his parents refused to let him go back to school. He spent much time playing soldier as a child, and was sent to military academy at 16, where he graduated with distinction. He served in World War I, eventually rising to the rank of commander in the flying division. He then became infatuated and joined with the Nazi Party, taking part in many overthrowings and protests. He led the air division of the Nazi regime for many, many years. Goring was put on trial and found guilty, but committed suicide by cyanide capsule before he could be put to death. And that's it! The final Nazi leader. There are no others. If you enjoyed watching this, be sure to like and subscribe, comment, do all the things. Just make sure you can get this video out there. You know? And thank you guys for watching. And I will see you next time. That is on the next slide about Adolf Hitler. Now, Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889 in a town I am about to butcher the pronunciation of, Bernal Amin, as the fourth of 6 siblings, the majority of which would go on to die. But that's getting off track. Hitler was sent off to school and performed poorly for years, telling his father that he wanted to go to school to become an artist. His father ignored him. After his father died, his mother sent him to another school, and he performed extremely well. Hitler was actually a rather creative soul, just wanting to do art or music for a living, which he did for a while. He applied to an art school in Vienna twice, and twice was denied. However, they did suggest he apply for architect school, but he didn't have the qualifications for that as he didn't graduate secondary school. But Hitler made a living in Vienna by working as a casual laborer, as well as creating and selling his artwork. He was exposed to anti-Semitic attitudes in Vienna, although he did not yet adopt them. Hitler was drafted into World War II, but was deemed unfit for service. He received part of his father's property in Munich, Germany, where he then enlisted and was deemed fit to serve. Now, Hitler was injured many times on the battlefield. However, in one instance, he had been temporarily blinded in a mustard gas attack and was in the hospital recovering when he heard the news that Germany had lost World War I. Now, he went on to say that this blinded him for a second time. This just goes to show that the evil Hitler we know today was originally a pure soul, but was corrupted and became black and dark over time. Adolf went into politics, which exterminated the last light that could have saved him, as it has for many others. But that's a bit of humor and darkness. He wrote Mein Kampf while in prison for the attempted overthrow of the German government. And from there, I think you can put the pieces together yourself. But here is the real end of the video. I've already told you what to do earlier, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!